Hi children, wishing you a good day. So in today's class, I am going to revise lesson number 6, The Eyes Are Not Here, which has been already completed last week, and poem 9, Batu, which we have completed this week. So before giving a class test, I thought I will revise both the lessons so that you can get prepared for your class test. So let me start with lesson 6, The Eyes Are Not Here. Answer briefly the following questions. Question number 1. The narrator guessed that the couple who saw the girl off at Rohana was probably her parents because they gave detailed instructions about the care she had to take. Question number 2. Why did the narrator feel that he would never be able to discover something about the girl's looks? Here you can just write because he was totally blind. No need of giving that lengthy answer. The answer what you can give here is, it's enough that you just write because he was totally blind at that time. It is there in your reader, in your guide also. Question number 3. Question number 3. The narrator was born completely blind. Say true or false? False. Question number 4. What did the narrator infer when the girl was startled by his voice? The narrator inferred means he was concluded that like all people with good sight, even she had failed to see what was right in front of her. Or you can write the answer, the girl had not noticed him because he was seated in a dark corner in the same compartment. The narrator, he inferred that the girl had not noticed him because he was seated at a dark corner in the same compartment. After writing this, you can go for this answer. So here the perfect answer would be that the girl had not noticed him seated at the dark corner in the same compartment. Question number 5. The girl told the narrator that her aunt was meeting her at Saharanpur. She said this probably because she wanted to convey a message that he couldn't take advantage of her, thinking that he was alone. So why the girl said that her aunt was meeting her at Saharanpur? Because he wanted to convey a message to the narrator that he shouldn't take advantage of the girl, thinking that she was traveling alone. Question number 6. How could the narrator, being blind, describe Mussoorie? The narrator was able to describe Mussoorie because he had eyesight. Okay, when he was not born blind. So probably he had seen Mussoorie when he had eyesight. With what intention did the narrator remark that the girl had an interesting face? He wanted to please her and also pretend to be normal sighted. So the intention of the narrator to remark that the girl had an interesting face, one is he wanted to be daring. He wanted to do something daring. So he gave the daring remark that the girl had an interesting face. Or the second point you can write that he wanted to please her and also pretend to be that he was normal sighted. Question number 8. Hiding his blindness was for the narrator. It was a challenge, a game, a child's play. Choose the correct answer. So hiding his blindness was a game for the narrator. Was a dash for the narrator. Here the dash is not given. Hiding his blindness was a dash for the narrator. It was a game for the narrator. Question number 9. The new fellow traveler had made out that the girl was blind. True or false? Yes. He made out that the girl was blind. True. Question number 10. The story ends with a revelation. What is the revelation? The revelation is that the girl who was traveling with the narrator was blind too. That the girl who was, it is not only the narrator was blind, even the girl was also blind. The narrator had thought he was playing a game and trying to fool a normal sighted person. He thought that the girl was normal sighted and he would try, and he thought of fooling the girl, but he came to know that he was actually trying to fool a person blind like him. So he also realized that even she had played a similar game with him, hiding her blindness. Next one, close study. Read the following extracts carefully. This is very important, children. This may be asked for 3 marks in the exam. You may break, you may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. What is the figure of speech used in the passage? So if it is asked for annotation, reference to context, then you yourself you have to write it is taken from the, or just write only the lesson name. The eyes are not here, written by Ruskin Bond. And the figure of speech, here is metaphor. And the girl, the vase is compared to the girl who traveled with the narrator. And what does the shattering of the vase refer to? The shattering of the vase refers to the girl going away from the train. And what does the scent of the roses refer to? The scent of the roses refer to the hair perfume that the girl had put on her hair. So in case of these questions are not asked, you yourself have to give all the answers there. You refers to the girl. Okay. You may break means the girl. May break means like into pieces. Here the girl moving away from the, going away from the train. You may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of the roses means the hair perfume which she had applied on her hair, even though if she moves away from the train, the hair perfume, what she had applied on the hair will be lingering there in the place where the girl stood. Question number 2. Once again I had a game to play, a fellow traveler. What kind of the game does the speaker play with his fellow travelers? So here also you have to, if it is reference to context, you have to write, taken only the lesson name and the author. The eyes are not here. Hyphen, Ruskin Bond. Then once again, so this is said by the narrator. The narrator said these words. And again, so here, what kind of a game does the speaker play with this fellow traveler? A game through which he tries to fool the other person into thinking that he was a normal sighted person. That is the game always he used to play. Means that he has no proper eyesight and speaks to them in such a manner that they are fooled. What do you understand from this about his attitude? It shows that the narrator is not depressed about his condition. He doesn't feel sad about his condition. He in fact has converted his condition to a game. He has taken it very coolly and he has changed his condition to a game. Who had outwitted whom in the game, already played by the narrator. So already the first passenger who had come there was the girl. So the girl had really outwitted the narrator. So now the eyes are not here. Summary. A blind man was traveling alone in the train compartment when at Rohana, a girl got in. It was clear that her parents had come to see her off as they were giving her instructions as what to do and what not to do. When the train left the platform, he asked her where she was going. She was startled. Startled means surprised on hearing his voice and said that she had not noticed that anyone was there. The narrator decided that he would try his best not to make it apparent that he was blind. Both started talking and the narrator spoke about Missouri. Then they discussed the scene outside the window. Listening to the girl talk, the narrator thought her voice was like the sparkle of a mountain stream. This also you notice. This may be asked, what was the girl's voice compared to? It was compared to the sparkle of a mountain stream. When they reached Saharanpur, the girl said goodbye and went away. And then they discussed the scene outside the window. Listening to the girl talk, the narrator thought that her voice was like the sparkle of a mountain stream. And when they reached Saharanpur, the girl said goodbye and went away, leaving the lingering perfume behind her. A man got in at that station. He spoke to the narrator and told him that he would not find him as interesting a traveling companion as the girl who had left. The narrator inquired of him whether she had long hair or short hair. The man replied that he hadn't noticed. He only knew that she had beautiful eyes, but of no use because she was completely blind. He further asked the narrator if he hadn't noticed it. So this is the summary. And you can go through the big question answers, that is paragraph writing. The first one, give instances to show that the narrator tried his best to impress on her that he could see during his encounter with the girl. That is very important. Most of the papers that question was asked. So paragraph writing, first question, go through very carefully, and once even the second question was asked, so go through both the question answers. Okay. Next, let me start explaining the next one, the poem Batu. So here Batu means it's a story of Eclavia and it is written by Toru Dutt. Now let us answer the following questions briefly. Question number 1. Why had Batu gone to Dronacharya? One more question. Batu had gone to Dronacharya to learn the science of archery or the art of archery. Many papers this question was asked. Important question. Second one. How did Drona respond to Batu's request? Batu was neither from a royal family nor rich, hence he was rejected and driven away. So he did not belong to a rich class. So Drona refused to teach Batu the skill of archery. Okay, he did not belong to a rich class. So Dronacharya refused to teach Batu the skill of archery. Question number 3. I came here to learn thy science, says Batu. What does thy science refer to? Thy science refers to the art of archery. Science refers to the expertise in archery. Expertise means art. So you can write there art of archery. Question number 4. Why did Batu revere Drona as his master? Revere means respect. Drona, so all these question answers 1, 2, 3, 4 very important. Most of the papers, all the 4 were, so better for 1 mark all these 4. So better go through all the 4 question answers carefully. Batu revered means respected Drona as his master because Drona was the best in archery and Batu got his inspiration and knowledge from him, from the great master who was very great in archery. So point number 1 is because Dronacharya was the best in archery, and point number 2, Batu got all his inspiration and all his knowledge from the great master Dronacharya. Question number 5. Batu says, all that I have, all I shall conquer by my skill. Gladly shall I to thee resign. Resign means offer. This shows Batu's reverence to Drona. Reverence means respect to Dronacharya. Question number 6. Rash promises ever ends in strife. Strife, trouble. By saying this, Drona he gives a hint that his demand for recompense could be damaging or destructive to Batu. So here answer it is given C and D. Only you have to write only C, not both, only C. Hinting that his demand for recompense could be. So it was a hint that rash promise could at times it could end in a trouble. So he just gives a hint to Dronacharya gives a hint to Batu. Question number 7. What did Drona seek from Batu as recompense? Dronacharya asked for Batu's right hand thumb as recompense. What justification did Drona give for his unfair demand? So what justification does he give? He says that he had promised Arjuna that he shall make Arjuna the best archer in the world and there shall be no equal to Arjuna at archery. So these are the 2 reasons. So why Dronacharya asked for this unreasonable due to Batu is because he had earlier promised Arjuna that he would be the best archer in the world and no one would be greater than Arjuna. So to keep up his promise, he asked for this unreasonable demand. And this 9th one is not that important. Next one, close study. This I reference to context. First one, I press for the sad recompense, says Drona. So I press for the sad recompense. What does sad recompense refer to? This may be asked for 1 mark as a 1 mark question answer. So it refers to the the fee, the compensation or the fee that Dronacharya asked for Batu. So what is the fee he asked? He asked for his right hand thumb. Okay, so the sad recompense refers to Drona's demand of Batu's right hand thumb. And what does it tell us about Dronacharya? It tells us that Drona is a very shrewd person and also a person of his word. So a person of his word means he wants to keep up his promise. He has earlier promised Arjuna that he will make Arjuna the best archer in the world. So now Drona realizes that Batu might prove to be better than Arjuna. So to keep up his promise to Arjuna, Drona asked for the gift from Batu. So he did not consider even for a moment the skill of Batu, who had learnt archery by himself. So if it was a sad recompense, why did Drona demand it? Drona wanted to keep up his promise. Why did Dronacharya ask for that sad recompense? Because he wanted to keep up his promise. What promise he has made? He has made a promise to Arjuna that he will be the best archer in the world and no one could be better than him. So he wanted to keep up that promise. So he demanded the right hand thumb of Batu, which would have made Batu unable to practice his archery. So he knew very well that if he cuts his right hand thumb, he will not be able to practice archery. So that's why he demands for his right hand thumb. Question number 2. The severe thumb was on the sword. Sword means on the grassy ground. There was no tear in Batu's eye. Why was the thumb severed? Why was the thumb cut? Because Dronacharya asked for the right hand thumb as a compensation, as a due for his teaching in absence. In reality, Drona wanted to ensure that there was no rival to Arjuna in archery. So, why was it cut? Because Batu severed his right hand thumb because Dronacharya asked for it as his due. The easier is given in your guide, so if you want you can go through that. Why was there no tear in Batu's eyes? Batu had tremendous respect for Dronacharya and he was ready to give anything and everything for Dronacharya. So when the teacher asked him his thumb, he willingly gave it without any regret. So there was no tear in his eye. He respected him. He had tremendous respect for Dronacharya. Next one. What does it tell you about Batu? Batu is truly more royal in sensibility, nobler than the other students of Drona. He had once been rejected by Drona for not being from a royal family and for being poor, but after his family and for being poor, after this incident, Batu appears richer and greater than any other person there, even his master. So it tells about Batu's complete devotion towards his master. He was ready to fulfill any wish of his master, and when Dronacharya asked his right hand thumb, Batu gave it without any hesitation, though he was aware that he couldn't shoot arrow without his right hand thumb. Paragraph writing. Go through all these question answers, and here important is these two question answers also you can revise, and important is the summary. Guru Dronacharya and Batu is a famous story of Mahabharata. Drona was very legendary and illustrious teacher. He taught only for princes and they become masters of all the arts which related to the warfare. When Batu requested Drona to teach archery, Drona refused to teach as it was restricted to the royal princes. So Batu embarks upon an idea of self-study. He installed the clay statue of Dronacharya and able to gain the level of skill equivalent to that of Arjuna. Once Batu was very much disturbed by barking dog. Furious Batu filled, here Batu spelling is wrong children, B-U-T-T-O-O, double T and double O, so just go see to that. Filled the mouth of the dog with 7 arrows in fast succession. By seeing his talent, Drona recalled Arjuna's claim that he would allow no other pupil to be the equivalent of Arjuna. As a master of promise, Drona asked him to give his right hand thumb. Batu, however, cheerfully and without any hesitation, severed his right thumb and offered it to Dronacharya and took an oath of not to shoot hereafter. Drona accepted his Guru Dakshina Dronacharya purposely asked his right hand thumb so that Batu has to lose his ability to pursue archery. This poem personifies the noblest human qualities of Batu towards his master Dronacharya. So please learn all the question answers which is revised. Go through both the lesson, the eyes are not here, and the poem Batu. Thank you.